And this is where I go. Good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to everyone on our actual first edition, what we probably going to call the Season 2 One Make Madness at Logistical Nightmares. I'll be your host for the next couple of 6 weeks on Tuesday nights, hauling and giving everyone a big ups on how the racing will develop. Big thanks to those on the stream. Hello and welcome to you all. I think I'm kind of curious to see and understand where and what is actually going to happen. So let me unfold you the whole calendar for the season. We're going to go all one make series, but it's not just all going to be BMWs as what you're seeing at this moment. It's just all the different types of one make individual races that we can bring for everyone to test and have a bit of fun. So a bit of a relaxed, chill back season that we're giving up. Boys on the track at the moment are busy with their qualifying session, and I would suspect, just looking at where we are from a standpoint of view, is everyone's done their outlap at the moment. Still need to do a quick lap, which some of them are on. And if I look at where we stand with the deltas, Duplessis they're giving away for his fellow racer behind him. Of course, some familiar names we've seen before on track at Logistical Nightmare. Tuesday night championships. Do we call it a championship? I don't know. It's kind of hard to state whether it's a championship or not. Every week is a new race. Every week is a new registration. It does all count at the end of the season, is what we kind of call it. Six races individually, all different types of one make. So it's actually going to be quite entertaining to watch these boys. And we're also familiar to watching everyone driving around with GT3 type cars. This time around, it's kind of difficult and different for everyone else. I mean, BMW M2's on track at Donington, qualifying session in the works. Currently looking at car 12, heading into corner 1. Getting a bit of an understeer there as he exits that corner. Needs to straighten the line, pick his braking point properly, and then of course not slow down too much, but also not hit that inside curb as hard as he did over there, because that seemingly will probably cause you a bit of time lost there. Fully focused on the moment on his apexes, which is very good. Currently sitting in 12th position, second position from a qualifying standing, only about a second away from the leader, who a man we haven't seen racing in quite a while, Mr. S. Stradom, featuring his white, orange and black striped BMW. Currently on a massive flying lap, doing 141s flat, a full second quicker than everyone else in the field. Question stands, is anyone going to catch him with this amount of pace that he's at the moment? Paul Venter there currently in second, just pulling up the charts there, but he is still a full 1.9 seconds slower than Sean Stradom. Now, I don't know what Stradom has got under the hood of that BMW, but he is surely planted at the moment, doing spectacular times. On stream I got Louise, Alan popped in to say hello. Again, Alan on stream as well, with his flying yellow colors there. Beautiful Helix livery there. I think that looks like a standard ACC livery with the Shell Helix BMW M2 Simracing on that, which in all fairness looks actually quite sexy. So for those that are not aware, again, this is like a kind of like a cup car race, all in one class, getting the best of the best out there in local South Africa, but also some international individuals out there. On the racing line, we've got car 49 here, and again, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his surname there, because I'm probably going to murder it. My focal point this season is not even to name names unless I can do it with confidence, because I tend to murder it completely and then it just gets all fumbled across everywhere else. So car 49 there, new individual at Logistical Nightmare Racing. I don't believe I've ever seen him in any of our servers or lobbies. He is currently in 12th position as the other BMW goes off track. So a good track of 17 people on track. Mr. Duplessis, who did during the practice session set up quite a good times there. He's struggling at this moment to actually put a lap down from where we stand. Hasn't set an actual lap time. Does he do it now? Yes, he does. It does put him up only by one position. But I think he looks a bit unsettled to what he did in the practice sessions. Again, not seeing all the known individuals that we used to see on GT3 racing. And I think it's purely just because of the speed differences these cars do. They just look so slow. Like one of those instances where you just want to put the smallest track you can find along with the BMW M2 and then see how that entails, because I don't even believe this car gets up to full top speed with even the long straight lines that we have at Donington Park. Definitely going to be quite interesting. A couple of other boys on the stream. Insomnia, welcome, man. I know I'm used to seeing you boys race on Wednesday nights on our ACC console side of it. Tomorrow we are hosting the Bathurst race. Round 5 was rescheduled from last week based on a massive server crash. So tomorrow night will most certainly be our Bathurst race, GT3 round 5 for the console boys. This week we are starting off with our ACC events season with 6 different rounds. I've got a bit of a mix of here, a bit of a Donington, Imola, Monza, Spa, followed by Kyalami, and then closing this season off with Bathurst. If you feel like giving it a go with a couple of one-make races, just to get into the groove and settle down on ACC, this is probably a small server lobby for those who are free and willing to join. Again, gotta give it up to all our individuals at the Patreon side and the Pay It Forward community. Big ups to them for the support. And of course, if anyone wants more information on what races we do host, feel free to go over to gridfinder.com, have a peek over there. I mean, it's not just ACC, PC and console we do. We are wanting to do some GT Sport, hopefully in the next few weeks, depending on how those servers come up, but the aim and the plan is there. Logistical Nightmare Racing, a community that has been around probably for the last 5 years, so we've been all over and hanging it out. So looking at the top 3 boys at the moment, car 394 followed by car 58, then we have car 12. Looking at him, he does seem to be a bit up on his delta. Can he improve his final sector over there just to get it up a bit? He does improve, but doesn't get enough to just finish up, but top 3 for him. Car 49, currently in 9th. The last time I had a look at him, he was sitting in 12th, so climbing the ladder a bit. Been very down on his delta. He's definitely not going to improve on his lap time though, unless some other means he finds about 8 seconds in general. So boys are going into the pit. Let's see if I can find you the times at this moment. Just to make sure everything works much better. So these are your top 17 Oaks racing this evening. Again, so what we're going to do is 2 lovely 30-minute races back to back, 1 qualifying session which everyone has done. So upon the next race, this is where they're going to start off again. They've got a bit of time to get all their setups done and dusted, get the car ready. Track temperature at this moment is sitting at about 21 degrees C, so it's not that overly hot. Depending on where you're from, I think for anyone that lives and resides in the UK or in the northern hemisphere, we'd probably disclose that as a scorching day of sunny and hotness. But from other regions or countries in the world, it's like a mild spring day. Nonetheless, this is where we sort of are. Half springtime in the northern hemisphere. Donington track, first race of the season. Again, probably an event. BMW M2 CS cars, ACC. I think it's going to be actually quite fun to look at these boys go door to door, side by side racing. It's just like another level of GT4 racings where it allows us to play around and fool around a bit with some beautiful cars that the 505 Game Boys have brought to us. I don't know what you guys think, but I think console boys are definitely hoping to have some of these new DLCs delivered to them soon. And if and when we do, I can assure you we will probably kick off a couple of races for you Oaks over there just to play it out. So, as you can see, the boys are starting to warm up. They're going out for their warm-up lap. This is now the time frame where I kind of need to get ready, get my race control sorted out, make sure all the details are up and ready there. Again, no live stewarding this evening. Completely different scenario, only because there is only so many drivers on track. Giving it a heads-up view from a camera angle, Donington definitely does look beautiful this time of the year. Let's see if I can give you a bit of a driver feeling of what's going on while they are doing their warm-up lap, and I can take a sip. There you go. These cars sound very soft to me at this moment. I actually had to pump up my volume just on my headset just to get the feel of the car. There's like absolutely no grunt in it, no turbo, no nothing. Basic standard BMW M2s. For anyone on the stream or anyone that knows any specifications of this car, just hit me up and give me a shout out. I mean, I don't even know if these boys have traction control or anything of that sense. I know for the Cup car races, none of them run on traction control, and the small things you can adjust and tune based on Cup car principles is very little. So I'm not aware of how much details can be changed from a mechanical damper set point of view, whether these boys can adjust their cambers, all those things, roll bars, just to get a bit more steer into the corners and out of the corners. So if anyone has got any information of that, I would thoroughly enjoy that. Okay. Helicam view just to make sure where we are. Boys waiting for the green light. Race is on. Just look at that beautiful wheels. 17 cars coming down the grid. Let's hope for a good clean start. It does look like Sean Stradam has got the inside line. Took it very nice and neatly. Car 12 there on the other end. A bit stitchy coming out of it. Now he has lost a position over there to Noel Bullion, I believe. No, that is Noel who's lost a position to car 58. Noel looking very unsettled in the beginning of the racing stages. He is now being thoroughly tested and challenged there by car 126 at the moment. All over the rear end of car 58. Noel going very deep once again. Just doesn't look like he has gotten into the rhythm as of yet. Now that's gonna settle down as this race develops. Big pile of boys at the back of the end of it. Close door-to-door racing. Like, this is spectacular. Big challenge there on Alan Patterson. He does manage to keep his position, but he is all over greening over there in car 438. But behind them all is a hungry BMW. Ooh, slight tag and tap there. One car has turned over. Now that's not gonna be quite fun. That is W. Robson there. That seems to be the massive innocent bystander there that probably tried to avoid making contact with cars, but then got sandwiched in between. So again, he's got a lot of work for him to do. Probably not a happy man, because it looks like he's gonna have a lonely race. But unfortunate. Ooh, that looks like a greening over there. Yes, it is. A lot of these boys look very unsettled in the first couple of laps. It has been generally clean, I have to add. Only one incident in a spin thus far recorded between car 449 and 223. Looking at the trailer boys here at the back, this is where the action is. Anthony Wilson, Duprier, Patterson, Greening, Herbst, Van der Berg, all lining each other in a straight line, looking for means and ways to capitalize on the individual in front of him. Now again, Greening has lost a couple of positions since the start of the race. By calculation, 3, 4 at the moment. And so is Duprier. 30 minutes of racing, boys. A lot can happen. Deep braking point there. Have to admit, still very quite clean from the start of the moment. Looking at Andries Duprier at the moment, aka Jazz, in car 126. Did have a bit of a fumble in the first corner, managed to get his car back on track now. So, fully focused and zoned in on that. Battle ongoing at this moment between Greening and Herbst. Greening taking a wider line, Herbst looking to cut back in. Big unsettlement there between Greening. That's going to make him probably lose 2 positions instead of the one he was trying to make up, because now he's got Kel van der Berg all over the back of him, looking for means and ways to make positions. So it seems like the guys are getting very anxious, wanting to make the moves, gain positions as much as they can. but then getting into the next corner and just making an utter mess out of it. Back to the front of the grid, I would probably say mid-pack. Anthony Wilson there being challenged by Dupria. Dupria taking the inside line. Goes in deep. Anthony sees it. Makes an undercut to him. Oh, big contact there between those guys. Didn't see what had happened there. Let's see if we can pick that up. Quick replay on that incident. I think that was Herbs that was involved in there, so coming down through the S's, all looks very well and dandy. Oh, that was car one. Big mistake from Cal van der Berg there. Cal van der Berg outbraked himself completely and made an utter mess of that coming into the final two corners. So these boys are very unsettled at this moment, picking up lots of potential damage and spin between car 1 and car 223. That was not the only one that we looked well at that replay, because there was another contact made at the back of that pack between car 2 and 3, which I don't really have the replay for. But let's see how the battle unfolds itself. Alan Patterson has made up a couple of positions from where he has started. So far the biggest winner out of the lot. He has gained 3 places from starting position. Anthony Wilson there in car 21 under severe pressure there by Dupria. Dupria just wants to make a move. Kind of feels like he is probably the faster man. Anthony making a bit of space between him. Alan Patterson on the other hand is slowly gaining on Paul Venter there. Now these two boys are getting closer and closer to each other. I think somehow I need to hire up a live steering guy. Now in normal circumstances we would have live steering taking place. I would look at all the little incidents that these boys do and dish out the required and adapted penalties for the guys during the race. However, this evening we don't have our steering team available. Cal van der Berg making a big mess out of that as well. He is definitely not settled in this evening. For some other weird reason, he's just not happy with it. Trying to remain to keep on the inside line, keeping away from the guys around him. But now he's got everyone left, right, middle and center going to fight for that position that they have just gained up. Any position made is a position that is worthwhile defending. So Van der Berg going all the way back from where he has started, struggling to come back. Now he's got Robson in front of him. Robson, I believe, was one of the guys that was involved in the first couple of laps incidents where his car got turned out. Now Robson's challenging Dupria there, looking all racy here between the three of them. It's now kind of a question of who's got the patience and who can outlast it. I'm fairly confident all three of these boys are looking at their mirrors, left, right, middle and center, to just see where the line is. Robson looking left, looking right, getting so close there to car 17. Taking the inside line now. Is he going to send it in the corner? Yes, he is. Duplessis holding a bit back. That sort of unsettles Kyle van der Berg there. That's going to make him lose another position. Kyle van der Berg taking the opportunity where the door was opened. So 2 positions lost there for Duplessis. Robson has freed himself from this back, but he's got a hungry Van der Berg in car number 1 chasing him down. Big battles there at the moment. Of course, this is not the only battles at stake. These boys here in the front of the grid between car 58, 104 and 10, the Bullion, the Fender and the Patterson are closing each other up lap by lap. 20 minutes of it remaining. So plenty of action still to come. That's not even talking about the jam-packed fight we have at the moment between disbelievers Harps and Dupree. Oh, Harps and Wilson. Harps and Wilson. Car 21 and car 223. Bright and yellow shell car there with a very grey, red and black color stripe BM. DHL. Oh, it's the DHL colors. Apologies for that. Completely got confused between Shell and DHL at the moment. They sort of have the same color scheme, don't they? I don't know how I always get that wrong. But lots of battles everywhere. Like there's small packs of guys having their battles throughout the track. This one is very interesting at this moment. Car 49 fighting it out with car 438. That would be Greening and car 49 again. These gentlemen are being chased down by Shaw in car 7. I have to admit, even though this is where we sit in the racing conditions, 17 minutes of racing, 22 degrees of track temperatures at this moment, quite a bit of action-packed racing all over the show. The individual struggling at this moment is Mr. Lee Bullion. Car number 2, doesn't look like he is a very happy man, is doing quite a bit of good time at this moment, so he might be in a position to make up a lot of time and space. However, the man flying at this moment is Sean Stradom, car 394. Now, to be fair, for a 30-minute race at the present moment, he has a 6-second gap between himself and car 12 at the moment. Now that just shows you the amount of pace that this man is bringing to the table. I reckon he just had a lot of time to practice and get that car exactly the way he wanted, because he is certainly out racing the whole field at the moment. That is phenomenal driving. I am back to the boys in the mid-pack race here. See if we can get a bit of action back down. Alan Patterson there. Again, I'm guessing that is the DHL livery, not the Shell one. Big competition between these two boys. And they are trying to close down the gap between themselves and N. Bullion, son of Lee Bullion in car 58. Not doing so. Alan Patterson, on the other hand, looking very racy at this moment. Delta between these two boys is less than a second. From a lap time standpoint of view, all running around about the same lap times, the 141.4, 141.5 range. In between the top 6 individuals, and then we start getting into the 142 range by the boys from 7th position all the way upwards. So front running mid-pack boys, second all the way to 6 in the low to mid 141s, which is phenomenal driving. Then of course you have the leader of the race, S. Strijdom, in car 394 doing very low 140s, which I would truly believe he probably took that into the garage and smashed a couple of nitros in there, because that is quick. P. Dupree on the stream. Hi there, man. But I have to ask you boys, why are you not racing? Let me know how the sound is and how everything is sounding like. Do I need to pump up a couple of volumes here or there? Let me know. 15 minutes of racing left as it stands. Lots of action back everywhere in the field, mid to end side of it. Again, going back to it. Ooh, Dupree has made a big fumble out there. Coming back onto the track, but definitely going to lose a lot of positions because of that. Now, the last I looked at, him and Mr. Wilson and Herbst were fighting it out there for the 6th, 7th, and 10th, 8th position. Dupree's going to drop quite a bit down the squabble. Kel van der Berg and Robson were battling each other. Now, Kel somehow managed to find a way past Robson, trying to make the gap back up again. Positions lost and gained at this moment. And I've got to go who's the biggest loser in positions, and at this stage it seems to be Dupree, the man that qualified 7 positions lower than where he was at this stage and has dropped all the way back to 11th place. Definitely not happy with where his racing situation has ended. Now, I would say that he's got one more race to bring it back to the equal playing field, but he has just got all types of oversteer and understeer from what I can see. Deep dive in there from, again, that is Kel van der Berg, outbraking himself phenomenally, giving the position back to Robson. But 99% sure that Robson's going to go, well, if you don't want it, I'll just take it and keep it from now on. Let's see at the back of the grid there. Lee Bullion has gained positions and he is slowly gaining those. So my estimations based on his speed and delta that I looked at was definitely on point. He is gaining the guys in front of him, slowly getting more and more comfortable with what he has. Meanwhile, at the back, front of the pack, Mr. P. Venter and Mr. A. Patterson. I'm gonna go with Patterson because he is one of the PWSR boys, fighting his way up the grid. So again, by the looks of it, so the Patterson's running the Shell livery, whereas Anthony Wilson is running the DHL livery. See, they look so close to one another. I mean, that is definitely a Shell livery BMW M2 class. Whereas if you look at A. Wilson in car 21, very similar, but that's got more of a DHL theme look than anything else. The only way I can differentiate between the two of them is that the Shell's got a white roof and the DHL's got a black one. Ooh, as Anthony goes very wide there, off track and off the excursions, doesn't lose anything. He's gonna lose a bit of time, but at this stage he's sort of well positioned, not being challenged by anyone. Don't know what happened here, but LNR seemed to have made a slight error coming out of that corner, therefore dropped what he has gained, and now he needs to make all of that up, which is going to be very hard itself, because like I said, these boys are running about the same lap times individually, still in the 141.5s. This is probably going to be one of Patterson's lowest or slowest lap time, just because of that mistake. So I think where we stand, he might just settle for 5th place. But from a racing point of view, it's all at the back to this evening. All at the back. Car 7, 6, 4, 4, 9 and 1. Gelfenberg making plenty of mistakes this evening. So much so that, car 4-9 was very unsettled there. I don't think it was contact, I just think it looked like a lot of oversteer there. Robson making positions. G. Mole. I haven't really talked about him. Now he has been one of the top gainers of the race thus far. Gained 5 positions from where he started, which to be fair is actually quite phenomenal. Looking at 12 laps, still plenty to go. But 5 positions gained from where he started. So that is very good. Almost second to last to 11th place. Question stands, is he in a position to keep that momentum for the remaining 9 minutes of the race? Probability is there. The individuals at the back of the pack are battling each other out, so that's just going to slow them down. The more side-by-side racing we have, the harder it is to get that speed up to it. The main track momentum, they do look like they are closing the gap down. Robson is far closer to Mole coming down the straight. Now that gap has gone down by 1.5 seconds in general. Look at the airplane going there for landing at the back of the strip. Again, once again, this was an airport in the olden age World War time frame. Subsequent to that, made it a beautiful racing track, which I would probably agree is not suited for GT3s, more of the GT4 M2 type class races, because the track is so small and it just makes it for a lot of fun racing. But then again, I think anyone can tell me otherwise. Oh, big mistake there by Mole. His speed is certainly compromised. Robson looking on the inside, gonna take the inside line. Mole shying away, not wanting to create contact. Robson going deep into that corner. Now that's gonna unsettle him completely. That's gonna make him go in deep into that corner, lose 2 positions off track excursions all the way. That is 3 positions lost at the moment. Robson's got to be smashing that steering wheel at this stage. Don't think his team manager is going to be that happy with him. He had the line, went a bit too wide coming down there, and then went off track twice, lost 3 positions. Now he's going to make all that up again. Big battles going on. And while we talk about big battles, these are the podium fights at the moment. So all of a sudden, a potential change in the podium between car 12 and 58. So that is Charles versus Nail. And Charles has been very on his lonesome throughout the race, 25 minutes of it though. And all of a sudden we have a very focused zoned in Bullion there in car 58, believing that he can make up a position. I don't know what has gone wrong though. Let's just have a look-see. So on the last lap, car 12 was only 3/10 slower than Nail. So Nail is starting to dip into the same lap times as he has been doing. I don't think it's that bad. Very curious to understand how they've gotten so close to one another. Just gonna go back to the boys racing here again. So Fabio, I'm gonna call him Fabio. Fabio in car 49 has gained all the positions that Robson has lost in the last few laps. And then of course, he's big battles here at the back. Robson trying to make his positions back of what he has lost. Is he gonna do that a second time and manage to keep it? Again, so far no drive-through penalties for these boys. Going way off track, trying to keep the car in between the white lines. Oh, Mole going very deep there. That's gonna unsettle him coming down the corner. He's gonna be in defensive mode though. Cuts across the line there between Robson. Robson going deep. Trying to get the upper hand and the exit speed, but he has to slow down. That's not gonna help him at all. More fully zoned and focused there. Yes, he certainly is. Looks far better now. Believe Robson can make that position back up. That's just purely based on the pace difference between these two. But he's gotta set it himself up for making the move. Or force Mole into making a mistake, which I don't believe is very possible. Mole just seems to be very consistent. Hitting the lines again. Robson, big mistake there from him coming out of that corner, just as he was that close to it. Looking back in the front of the race between the top three boys, fighting for the podium second place position. Nail trying to get as close as he can, but from a racing point of view, these guys are running similar paces, both in the 41.2s, 41.3s. So this is not going to be easy. You might be in a position to catch him up, but will you be in a position to pass? That's the bigger question that we have. Two minutes left of the race. From where it stands, this is your race leader. He is most certainly going to do another lap. So again, still time for these guys at the back of the grid fighting their way through. Lee Bullion has made it up all the way there. Inside line taken there. No, doesn't manage to do so. Have to admit, even looking at, big whoopsie there. That's gonna open it up for Duplessis. I do love a BMW in the original BMW livery colors, which is the blue, red and black. It just looks so sexy. Don't know what it is, but somehow I think BMW is about the only car that can pull off those three colors off, painted on its bonnet or all over the car. I don't foresee any other car with color schemes like that can pull it off as beautiful as what a BMW does. Again, I sound like a massive BMW fan. I'm not, it's just because I do drive it. So I've gotten to love it. Battles still remain to go on here. Van der Berg has made up a position to Fabio. Now again, can Van der Berg stay on track? Can he finish this race off with a good couple of laps? Race leader coming into the final few sectors, closing it off. I would probably say from a dominating perspective, 11 seconds difference in Delta. Sean Stradom has definitely put his mark on the table this evening with the first race in the books. Final corner to turn it around and putting it through. Big win there. Beautiful light showing as it comes across the start finish line, taking that victory. Gotta admit, I've hardly featured the man. Started great, got the position, and just made the moves. Charles there in second, Nail there in third. Paul Venter coming down there with his grey and yellow banana boat BMW, followed by Alan Patterson in his Shell powered is Herb's car 223. Anthony Wilson coming down the start finish line as well. He's closely being followed there by Greening in car 438. And of course we have Charles there in 9th, Dupree in 10th. Boys have done massive battles throughout the race. We got another one up and coming soon. This is Cal van der Berg, at least maintained to keep the position. Takes 11th, Fabio in 12th, Robson in 13th, followed by Mall, who I believe did an actual very fantastic good race. And then the final few corners here, woo, for a very badly damaged BMW there by Lee. Let's go look at all these times. I think this is just an idea of what is to expected for the next race. I think this was actually quite fabulous. Now again, we're going to do another 30 minutes of racing here. This time in the dark, giving it a bit of a twist, just to make sure that these boys cannot just run in race times, but they can also run during the dark nights. I just want to come and save all these lovely things. From a qualifying standpoint, this is where the boys finished the circumstances. Now we got to go and look at the racing conditions for race 1. And I'm kind of multitasking at this moment. So do stay tuned. Don't go away. This is going to be a short break from us. We'll be back within the next few minutes for the guys ready to start their secondary race. Again, for everyone on the stream, go grab a cup of coffee, get a beer, get a bottle of water. Just get whatever you think is needed to sit down and listen to my all made up version of race commentating with, I would suspect, some of the best boys in South Africa doing a bit of racing on Tuesday night at Logistical Nightmare. Again, round 2 is on its way. Let's hope it's going to be quite eventful. Be right back. Don't shy away. I'll give you some tunes and then we'll be back soon. So we're back. Again, welcome back to everyone. Back onto the stream. Double whammy this evening. This is Logistical Nightmare Racing, starting off with our second season of the year. Can't realistically call it a season because we're doing 6 event races over the next 6 weeks. Mostly one make races. Again, those of you that have only joined now, we've just managed to finish race 1 not so long ago, where it was the first 30-minute action-packed race. Again, so much happening all over the show. Some individuals just couldn't stay afloat on track, and certain individuals just went and dominated the whole track from start to finish. So I'm hoping to see more of that action in a night type of race where we have lower pressures on hand. Again, this is going to be more challenging for the BMW M2s as opposed to a hot track conditions. Subsequent to that, it's a night race. Again, we are not expecting to see any rain from any location or area, so I think this is going to be quite eventful and quite entertaining to look at. Again, the winner of the previous race was Sean Stradom there by miles. Nail in car 58 did lose out in the first couple of sectors of the race. Didn't seem like he was very settled when the race started, and then subsequently to that started to gain momentum at the end of the race. Charles, on the other hand, in car 12 was very dominating. Dupree didn't seem settled enough. Wilson had a fantastic race. So did Venter. But I think Alan Patterson, who managed to finish in the top 5, as he normally does with his consistency, just seems to be so focused and zoned in when he does a race. So I'm hoping everyone does a different scenario, and all of a sudden there, Sean Stradom going straight into the pits. I don't know what his thoughts is, but something tells me that he's going to try and do a last to first scenario. This gives Nel Bullion, on the other hand, a helping fresh start for him. Now he takes it this time around, confident all over the show. Doesn't look as unsettled as he was the first time around. A couple of incidents at the back of the pack, a few guys definitely involved there. Look at how that backed up. Now again, this is way different to what we've observed in the first race. Lots of guys this time around. Massive incidents and injury. I'm going to go and see if I can figure out what has actually happened there. We could just do a broadside view, and then I think then we can all go back and judge us. Okay, so back at the back. Ooh. Oh, just a couple of terrible incidents there. Not ideal for the individuals involved. I think I need to see if I can go back a bit more. Oh, side tag there to Anthony Wilson's car. And that subsequently has spun him around and then placed him in such a position where he just had nowhere to go. Completely not what we would have expected from a racing point of view. I think that sudden tag there by car 438 onto Wilson has caused that whole dilemma debacle there. Pretty much too quick for me to pick up on the trigger, but holy hell, a way different racing start than what we expected to see in the first race. So already off the bat, we've got 3 major incidents that has affected the circumstances we are facing with. Now again, I did see Sean Stradom going into the pits. Now is he going to try and make it a race for himself, trying to finish the race from the back to the front? I think this is going to be a very interesting challenge for him though. However, on the other hand, going to the front of the grid, lots of action packs over here. Nel Bullion is the guy that got away this time around, and Charles, on the other hand, is being heavily challenged at the moment between himself, Dupree, Fenter, Patterson, then of course Charles, Robson, Maul is in there, Lee is also in the mix there. So this time around, Charles has got all the big battles there with him. Alan Patterson didn't look like he came out of that very well. Now, what has happened there? Just looking from our perspective, all looks fairly well at this moment. Coming through that last corner before we hit the start finish straight there. I think I've been too anxious to hit the replay button there. Oh, definitely missed that out completely. Alan Patterson is in the pits, however. Just want to see if I can actually see what has happened. Not at all. Missed the whole action. He has got so much damage he now has to fix. That BMW is not a happy chappy at all. So Alan Patterson, that looked so good at the start of the race, is now back in the pits. The man needs to fix his car. Now that's definitely going to put a damper on his race. More accidents everywhere else. Dupree and Fenter have gone down the grid. Now I'm seeing Fenter also down the line. What has happened this time around? Like race 2, like no one has put their lights on, or people are just not having the best of races. The individual from Charles' point of view, I mean, he had lots of hungry individuals that wanted his position. They have all subsequently killed themselves in the course of a couple of laps. Again, still don't know what has happened exactly. Plenty of boys back into the pits. Let's see if we can pick up on that. Oh, big talent spin there. Contact surely made between Dupree and Paul Fenter. Paul Fenter, they're doing probably the worst 360-degree spins by far. And that was certainly massive from any given point of view. Okay, let's go back to the normal racing line. 23 minutes into the race, I can certainly assure you, for a second race around, there has been lots of accidents and incidents all over the show. Far more than what there was in race 1. And this is only the start of the race. Like, what has happened? Okay, let's get comfortable. Let's get settled. Charles, on the other hand, is now currently in a potential podium position. Now he's being challenged by W. Robson in car 764. 23 minutes of the racing. These are good positions for these guys. Let the guys in front of the race mess it all up, kill themselves within the first 70 minutes. Opens the door for everyone else to actually come in and potentially do a brilliant race and maybe win a couple of positions. Again, we started off with a good pack of guys. Someone went off along the excursions. Started to think that we can be... I don't know what happened. I'm kind of shocked. Stridom, a man that qualified first, instantaneously decided to go into the pits before the race started. Therefore, putting him in a position to try and win the race from last to first. I think that's probably going to be very possible, considering the amount of speed he has shown. He's back into it again. Low 41s at this moment. Being a night race is going to be quite difficult for him. Big battles between these boys for the podium position. Dahl and Robson, car 7 and 764. They are being slowly chased down by Mall. Again, Mall is very high in these standings, currently 3rd. Now this is a top 5 racing standard that I didn't expect to see. Most certainly going to be quite interesting. As we look at the rear wing there, all we see is the headlights of Robson. He is chasing down Charles, who is looking calm, cool and collective at this moment. I don't think he's going to give up that position that soon. Paul Venter on the other hand, he is having a battle at the moment between himself and Van der Berg, but he's got Herbs right behind him. Oh, as you can see how these guys are so soft and sensitive on their corner entries and exits with these BMWs. Kind of gives you the feeling that there is probably no traction control. From an Optimus track point of view, it looks very slippery, as you can see how hard Herbs has to work that steering wheel just to keep the car in between the lines. Like a whole combination of understeer, oversteer, understeer, oversteer. He's fighting that car harder than anything else. I think we can probably classify that these boys will never drive this car ever again. Paul Venter looking on the inside line, side by side as they go through there. I think that was very daring between the two of them. Van der Berg losing 2 positions at the moment. He's not going to be a happy man. Paul Venter not going cover the fence on that, as he has Herbs right behind him. Again, that's a buffer between these two, so big battles here at the moment. Paul trying to regain all his positions though. Alan Patterson, a man that had a big excursion, is fighting from the back of the field with his Shell powered Helix, and it just doesn't look like he is that happily settled at this moment. It's like he's losing way too much rear end grip exiting out of corners. Now whether that is because the track conditions is so cold that there's just not enough temperatures in the tires that everyone is struggling that hard. I mean, a 10-degree track for a M2 class type of car is not easy at all. So kind of makes you understand why they would fight and struggle so hard at the stage. They are. Insomnia, they are definitely. I just realized that they are struggling for grip, and I didn't think of it. It's just making it so challenging for them at the moment. There just seems to be no grip at all. But if you look at the times that the guys are making, like looking at Sean Stradom, he is back into his 140.5. So I really struggle to understand where everyone else is struggling for grip. If Stradom is doing the exact pace that he started off with at the first race with about 23, 22 track degree temperatures. So is that really the case of grip, or is it just the case of setups? Gotta look at it from an interior point of view. So let's go look at Stradom and see what he does differently. Ooh, goes on the inside there. Went off track there. Doesn't really explain what everyone is observing at this moment. I have to admit, it just looks a lot smoother there from Stratum. Stratum, for some other odd reason, is just not fighting the car as hard as everyone else. Now, I could be completely wrong, but that's just what it seems to me. The small minimal inputs to the BMW on track conditions like this is what's making it a lot faster. Soft on the throttle, break your braking points, and then kind of coast it through every corner, just not over forcing it. It seems to be the magic trick in the book. And if I have to think about it, it makes me think like you're driving the BMW as if it is a wet condition. Like, don't just go full on throttle. Treat it as if it's a wet race or a damp track with minimal inputs, and just let the car do what it does. Like, that was just such an easy position to make and gain for him. Took the normal racing line. Kelvenberg made the mistake. Concentrate on capitalizing on that, and now he's going to go and chase down Herbst and Venter. Now that's going to be very interesting. So let's go to the front of the grid now, where these boys have closed up to each other. Charles, Robson, Moll, Greening. 4-car chase down for that final spot of the podium. Charles does not want to let this go. 15 minutes of racing left. I think this is probably going to be the best race for these boys. Moll, on the other hand, seems to be on point this time around. It's like he's more settled in the darkness than what he is during the dry conditions. Now again, I beg to believe that he probably maybe could have had some damage during the first race, but he is far more aggressive this time around than what he was the first round. Again, everyone can more than free go back, rewind, go check it out. First race. Whoa. As Harps. Oh, Greening there makes a big mistake into the S's there. Big battle here between Charles and Robson. Now again, is this causing everyone to stay within the pack, maintaining that position and grip? This is going to get more and more interesting as we go along, because I can guarantee you this four-way battle is slowly turning out to a 6, 7, 8 battle point. So within the next couple of laps, we are going to have about 8 cars behind Charles challenging for this final podium position. It is whoever is the better driver that's going to make it up. And now we've got Fabio being challenged there by Alan Patterson, who's trying to make up positions from where he has left off. I think it's just really a challenge between day and night. So if the PC Cup car by Insomnia is like PlayStation Cup, then there's no TC. Ah, yeah. Well, that's sort of the thoughts. I know the new Cup car, which we're going to feature in, I think, round 4 this season around, at Spa. Again, in my head I was going, we probably need to make it a lovely wet race with no traction control in a Cup car at Spa, because it is absolutely fun. But I think everyone will probably kill me if I put rain on a track with a car that has no traction control. So this season all round we are literally doing no rain or anything unusual, with the exception of a bit of darkness and things like that. So again, don't be shy, we're really not pushing the boundaries here. But if these cars have no traction control, I think I would agree with you there, Insomnia. Your right foot is your worst enemy. I will be surprised to note that there is traction control on these cars. Again, I haven't driven it at all. I've bought the DLC pack. I've got the cars. I think I've taken out the cup car. Alan Patterson has an opportunity to make a move there on Fabio. Whether that happens, that is to be expected. But I'm gonna go to the front of the grid. This is where all the action is. Did somehow miss the opportunity where Robson did pass Charles. Now Robson's got to make it now and break away from this pack. Otherwise, he's going to be the man under severe pressure because, to be fair, Fabio has gone off track, off the excursions. Charles, Mole, Greening, Stratum, Venter, Herbs, all the way up to 8th place is all chasing down here. You can look at this train of boys coming down the track there. So big battles here at the moment. Let's go from a helicam point of view. See if I can go mid-back, side by side. Look at this action. Oh, slight contact there between Mole and Greening. It looks like Mole trying to gain position there from Charles. Mole going on the inside line. Is he going to keep it? Yes, he is. Everyone going very wide. Mole going deep. Oh, big action, big contact there. Oh, what a massive incident there. I think that is what I'm going to call a potential racing incident. Paul Venter seems to be bump drafting Stratum. Like everything is happening all over the show. Mole, the biggest winner there, took the inside line somehow. It looked like Charles in car 7 made a big fumble coming out of the corner. Oh, as Mole goes in deep into the corner. Now he's going to lose a bit of time, but he is most certainly going to have Stratum all over the back of him, followed by Herbs and Paul Venter. I think the pressure is mounting up. Mole needs to sit down, focus, just get it in lap by lap. I know it's going to be hard with a guy behind him by the surname of Stratum, who smashed it out of the park in race 1, but the race is not yet finished. So Mole going defensive. Stratum, I think, is going to try and send it on the outskirts of him. Closes so closely to him. That is near contact, but makes the move stick on the outskirts. Now that is a big move from Stratum. Ballsy and gutsy, if I have to add. Question stands, is Herbs going to do exactly the same thing? Robson has got a bit of buffer between himself, and then we have got another pack here being fighting. So that is Greening, Van der Berg and Venter fighting it out all over the show. Patterson still trying to gain lots of momentum and positions. I haven't even really talked about the top 2 guys. Again, they're not far off each other though. So this is Neil Bullion in car 58. He is being chased down there by Charles in car 12. The gap between them has remained about 2 seconds for most of the race. Yellow flag again for Paul Venter. Paul Venter seems to have made another mistake in this race. So back-to-back issues for him. Don't really know what has actually happened there. Let's see if we can go find out what has happened in that instance. I mean, Paul is now really struggling with that car. He was in the back there trying to fight for position. Nothing wrong at this moment. Went on the outside. Ooh, big slide from him. Lost the rear end. And just another 360, 720 spin there from Venter. That was very unusual. It's like all of a sudden that rear end of the car just didn't want to grip anymore. And then let loose as he exited that corner. Okay, so battle continues for the final podium so far. Again, I think the top two boys have got a comfortable buffer between themselves and Robson and Stradom at this stage. This is about a 17-second delta, so this is actually just a battle for the final podium position. I doubt whoever gets the move done here is going to go ahead and catch the two boys leading the race. So if Stradom does make this move, the best he can do from my calculations is third place. I think it was very optimistic for him to believe that he would potentially win this race. Robson's not going to make it easy for him, because I reckon this is probably the first race for Robson to get up a good podium. Gets a slow exit out of the S's. Does he go defensive? Decides to stick to the racing line. Again, that would have given an opportunity for Stradom to go in, but Stradom cuts it so close, exits near the end of that track. Doesn't gain that much though. Robson going deep once again, making slight error here and there. Now I don't know if that is nerves, but he needs to settle down quite a bit, because if he doesn't do so and this battle continues, Mole, Herbs and Greening is not far behind them. Oh, Robson going too deep off the excursions over there. That is going to make him lose 3 positions from a potential podium all the way to about 6th place. Stradom takes the lead. Mole is now the man going defensive with everyone behind him. That's Herbs, Robson, Greeny and Van der Berg. Epic battles between everyone. It's like every time someone takes that third place position, they make a slight error, go off track, and then they lose all the momentum. I think it's those circumstances that you just look too much in your rear view mirror and not focus on your race itself. That is what makes mistakes. Switch your rear view mirror off. Side by side action there by these boys. Look at them coming down the start finish straight line. Not the stop. Who's gonna give it up there? Robson falling all the way back there. Greening getting twitchy on the exit. More twitchiness. Oh! I don't know how they managed to hold that together. I really don't. I honestly do not. Let's go back and see what has happened there. So as they enter this corner, ooh, Robson makes a big mistake, slows Herbs down. That brings Charles. Is it Charles? No. That brings Kelf and about all into the mix there. So they wanted to go side by side racing there. Robson yielding there. Cal getting a good exit, but then Greening getting all twitchy, makes contact with Kyle. It sends Kyle off the excursion. So, oh, what an unfortunate race of events. Okay, so we have Harps and Malloy. Stradom is trying to hunt down the boys in front. 3 minutes of the race remaining. Gotta admit, holy hell, this has been an impact eventful race nonetheless. Like, I have not seen that many incidents from a racing standpoint. I think our steering team is going to be phenomenally busy looking at everything itself. We are recording all the incidents, but I can certainly tell you that this was a race to be forgotten for most people. Mole, on the other hand, is probably having the best race of his life. He is fighting to retain that 4th place position 2.5 minutes left. Big challenge between him and Herbs. I think Stefan Herbs and Mol are gonna fight it out all the way to the end. Still side by side. Mol goes very defensive. That forces Stefan to go all the way on the outskirts. Is Stefan brave enough to do so? Probably gonna try a cutback. Does look like he's getting the cutback into it. Beautiful exit there by Stefan Herbs. Now that's gonna give him more speed and momentum. What a move. Ah, that is just classic book class etiquette. Takes the outside line, decides to go a lot slower, forcing Mol to take the inside line, then coming back with a cutback, having more speed and momentum, and taking that position. Classic book text, like beautiful. I can't express it. That is such a good move. Phenomenal driving there by these two boys. Alright, now look at the back of the pack. Paul Venter, who I believe is probably struggling with both his tires and his car at the moment, is being challenged there by Lee Bullion. Man didn't have the best of first races, but this position. Okay, leader on the final lap. And he's making his way through all the packs at this moment. That looks to me like Anthony Wilson there at the back of the pack. Blue flags will be waved everywhere. So people run with different pads. Ah, Pierre is back on here. Jazz is back on here. So, Generation, did you perhaps use pad 1? Cupcar, TC, people having lots of debates about the brake pads that they've been using on the chat lines. Now, as we focus with Nell doing his final lap here, coming down the final straight, looking very comfortably because he's going left to right to center again. So again, brake pad 1 is all about those short race intervals, man. You can actually set brake pad 1 and race it for about 2.5 hours. That's to my understanding. Brake pad 2 is more of the endurance type pads, and then brake pad 3 is more for the wet. And then of course you've got brake pad 4, which you can use, which I would not personally recommend using that for like a 30-minute race excursion, because it will probably just last you about 15 minutes or so. Now that wears off quite quickly, so I don't know what you guys used, but nonetheless, this is Nell Bullion taking victory from his second race at LNR, followed there by Charles, who's done a phenomenal race back to back though, 2 double place victories. Sean Stradom on the other hand coming into third, was the overall leader from a qualifying point of view. Decided to do back to front finish race. Charles Herbst, phenomenal drive by him. Mol in 5th position. Robson on the other hand in 6th, was in podium for a bit. Cole van der Berg having a fantastic secondary race as opposed to the first one. Neil Greening coming there in 8th position. And then of course we have Charles in car number 7, who was ahead of the pack for quite a while until he made a slight error, dropped all the way to 9th. Lee Bullion coming and finishing it off, but seems to be in the top 10. Ooh, big bump there by Paul Fainter just before the finish. I think Paul is really struggling with his car at this moment. Had 2 spins. From a racing point of view, I think this just killed his momentum and race conditions. Fabio, on the other hand, is the final guy in 11th. Then we have Alan Patterson in 12th. We had a big excursion at the beginning. And then Duplessis in 13th. I think more boys finished off, but as it all closed off, timetables for race 2 is as it stands at this stage. Ooh. Just see if I can get back onto that. Timetables, race 2. Let's just make sure race 1, yes, race 2. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a couple of snapshots because it's kind of me to do a bit of admin work and so forth. I have to admit, this has been a bit eventful. In all fairness, fun race to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it from my viewpoint of view. I do hope you boys enjoyed it from a streaming circumstances. Again, this is our 6 race season fun race kind of event. We're going to stream all of them back to front. This week we had the BMWs. Next week, of course, we're going to go and feature, I believe, the new Ferraris at Imola. Again, beautiful Ferrari car at Imola itself. So 1 hour racing, I believe. So don't be shy. Come back next week. Come say hi, say welcome, like and subscribe. We do love all the support. I love all the support. So again, thank you guys for watching. It's going to be eventful from a stewarding perspective. Wish you all the best. Do have a good evening, good night. God bless. Cheerio. Ooh.